The world of Formula One is abuzz with speculation as Max Verstappen hints at an earlier-than-expected exit from the sport. With Red Bull undergoing internal changes and the demands of modern F1 racing evolving, Verstappen's recent remarks have reignited the conversation. While some dismissed his previous statements as mere posturing, his latest comments make it clear that his retirement might be sooner than fans anticipated. Known for his candid opinions, Max has expressed discomfort with the idea of racing in an expanded calendar of 24 events for decades to come. Approaching his fourth championship title, Max is adamant that achieving milestone after milestone holds diminishing value for him. Reflecting on his career, he stated that his personal goals are already met, and anything beyond this feels repetitive. Unlike legendary drivers aiming for record-breaking numbers of championships, Verstappen has voiced his desire to prioritize other aspects of life. With his contract running until 2028, questions linger: will he continue racing, or is a shift inevitable? Max Verstappen's stance on early retirement has brought to light the challenges faced by modern F1 drivers. While he remains committed to his current contract, extending to 2028, Verstappen has frequently voiced dissatisfaction with the growing pressures within the sport. Unlike legends such as Schumacher or Hamilton, who relished chasing records, Max approaches racing with a different mindset. To him, the thrill of competition and achieving personal goals matter more than accumulating accolades. The ever-expanding F1 calendar is a significant factor in his decision-making. With 24 races per season and talks of increasing this number further, Max has expressed concerns about the toll this schedule takes not just on drivers but also on teams and staff. This relentless pace, coupled with sponsorship obligations and simulator work, leaves little room for personal life. His father, Jos Verstappen, has echoed these sentiments, emphasizing how the sport's intense demands are impacting Max's enjoyment and long-term aspirations. The pressure of an ever-demanding Formula One schedule is not the only factor influencing Max Verstappen's thoughts on stepping away early. He has also been outspoken about the growing toxicity surrounding the sport, particularly on social media. Criticism from fans and the media during any dip in performance has added unnecessary stress to his career. Max has remarked on how spectators, often unaware of the complexities involved, are quick to judge drivers' efforts. He finds this relentless scrutiny frustrating, describing it as a major downside of being in the spotlight. Despite these challenges, Verstappen's loyalty to Red Bull is clear, as he continues to honor his commitments. However, his reluctance to remain in F1 long-term could push him toward exploring other forms of racing. Max has hinted at wanting to mentor young talent in the future, offering opportunities to those who might not have the same advantages he did. These aspirations underline his evolving perspective on life beyond the racetrack. While Max Verstappen's career trajectory has been extraordinary, his vision for the future doesn't align with the long-term paths taken by some of Formula One's greatest champions. Jumping into F1 at just 17 and securing his first win at 18, Max has already accomplished milestones that most drivers can only dream of. However, his achievements also come with the understanding that longevity in the sport is not his ultimate goal. He has openly shared that the idea of competing into his 40s holds no appeal. As Verstappen approaches his peak years, he sees the current phase of his life as the ideal time to explore other interests and opportunities. Whether it's engaging in different motorsport categories or taking on a mentorship role for young drivers, Max envisions a future where he isn't bound by the grueling F1 calendar. His pragmatic approach suggests a deep awareness of his priorities, valuing personal fulfillment over chasing an endless string of titles. Max Verstappen's potential early retirement raises broader concerns about the direction Formula One is heading. The sport's expansion, with more races and a packed calendar, is seen by some as prioritizing financial gains over the essence of racing. Even Verstappen's father, Jos, has voiced worries about the toll this demanding schedule takes on drivers and teams alike. According to him, the constant travel, simulator work, and sponsorship duties are eroding the enjoyment and passion that originally drew drivers to the sport. For Max, the fun of racing risks being overshadowed by the overwhelming workload. His statements suggest a clear preference for quality over quantity, competing in fewer, more meaningful races rather than being part of an endless cycle. Verstappen's sentiments align with those of other drivers and teams who feel the strain of an increasingly relentless F1 season. This raises critical questions for the sport's leadership. Is this level of expansion sustainable, or could it push talent like Max away too soon? Looking ahead, the 2026 Formula One regulations could also play a pivotal role in shaping Max Verstappen's decisions. With significant changes expected, teams like Aston Martin might rise as championship contenders, disrupting the current dominance of Red Bull. While Verstappen has a contract until 2028, his commitment to staying depends on Red Bull's ability to maintain its competitiveness. If the team struggles to adapt to the new rules or loses its edge, Max might reconsider his position in the sport altogether. Internal dynamics within Red Bull have also added uncertainty. Reports of power struggles within the team, particularly involving key figures, could create an environment that Verstappen may not find ideal. Despite his loyalty, Max has hinted that his tolerance for instability has its limits. For now, his focus remains on performing at his best, but the combination of regulatory changes and internal challenges might influence his plans. Fans and analysts alike are watching closely to see what unfolds. Max Verstappen's comments about early retirement also shed light on his broader mindset toward life and racing. He has often emphasized that Formula One is not his sole focus and that he wants to explore other ventures and personal interests. Max's candidness about wanting a well-rounded life, free from the constraints of a relentless racing schedule, highlights his pragmatic approach to his career. His desire to avoid racing well into his 40s, unlike some of his contemporaries, reflects his intent to strike a balance between success and personal fulfillment. Beyond the track, Verstappen has shown interest in contributing to the sport in unique ways. Whether mentoring young drivers or pursuing other forms of motorsport, Max aims to make an impact outside of the F1 grid. His meteoric rise and early success have given him the freedom to contemplate these possibilities. However, with his contract still binding and the uncertainty surrounding future developments in the sport, fans are left wondering how much longer Verstappen will remain at the pinnacle of racing. Amid discussions of Max Verstappen's potential retirement, one underlying issue is the ever-growing F1 calendar, which he has openly criticized. The expansion to 24 races per season, with talks of even more in the future, has pushed drivers, teams, and staff to their limits. Verstappen believes this relentless schedule detracts from the joy of racing, leaving little time for rest, personal life, or other pursuits. His comments echo concerns raised by others in the sport, who worry that the current pace may lead to burnout across the paddock. Max's perspective is particularly compelling because it comes from a driver at the height of his powers. His dominance on the track hasn't diminished his reservations about the sport's direction. While he acknowledges the benefits of competing in a successful team with a strong car, he also points out that the demands of the job make it harder to maintain long-term enthusiasm. This sentiment highlights a growing debate within F1 how to balance growth and entertainment with sustainability for its stars. Max Verstappen's career trajectory has always been unique, marked by rapid success and a focus on personal milestones rather than chasing records. At just 27, his accomplishments rival those of drivers who have spent decades in the sport. Yet this very success has fueled his desire to step away before the sport consumes more of his life. Verstappen has repeatedly stated that his priorities lie beyond F1, and he doesn't see himself as someone who will continue racing just to break records or meet fan expectations. One of Verstappen's most striking statements is his belief that winning multiple titles beyond a certain point becomes repetitive. Unlike Schumacher or Hamilton, whose legacies are built on record-breaking streaks, Max views additional championships as less significant once personal goals have been met. This perspective not only differentiates him from other greats but also serves as a reminder that even the most dominant athletes can prioritize personal satisfaction over external accolades. Max Verstappen's openness about his career intentions is a reflection of his individuality in the high-pressure world of Formula One. While many drivers aspire to create a legacy defined by records, Verstappen prioritizes the quality of his experiences. He has expressed a strong desire to maintain a sense of balance, avoiding the trap of becoming consumed by the demands of the sport. This mindset allows him to appreciate his achievements while remaining grounded about what truly matters to him. His future choices, however, are likely to depend on several key factors. The internal dynamics at Red Bull, the impact of new regulations in 2026, and the overall direction of F1 will play crucial roles. Verstappen has made it clear that he won't stay in a situation where he's unable to compete at the top level or if external pressures, such as social media toxicity, detract from the joy of racing. Whatever decision he makes, it's clear that Max is determined to stay true to his vision of success and fulfillment. As Max Verstappen looks toward the future, his statements bring up a broader conversation about the evolution of Formula One. The sport, while growing in global appeal and financial success, risks alienating its biggest stars with an overwhelming calendar and heightened scrutiny. Verstappen's candid remarks highlight the challenges of balancing the expanding demands of modern F1 with the personal lives and ambitions of drivers. While Max remains loyal to Red Bull for now, his career beyond 2028 is uncertain. His focus on achieving personal happiness and exploring other opportunities might lead him to step away from the sport earlier than fans expect. This doesn't mean his impact on Formula One will diminish. Verstappen has hinted at wanting to support young drivers, potentially shaping the next generation of talent with the insights he's gained through his remarkable career. Whether he remains in F1 or takes a different path, Verstappen's legacy is already secure as one of the sport's most compelling figures. As Max Verstappen approaches the peak of his career, his perspective on racing reminds us that even the greatest athletes seek balance between passion and personal well-being. While fans and analysts may hope for him to continue breaking records, Max's focus remains firmly on his own happiness and fulfillment. His openness about potentially stepping away from Formula One earlier than expected highlights a refreshing honesty in a sport where long-term legacies are often the primary goal. Whether Verstappen decides to honor his current contract with Red Bull until 2028 or chooses to pursue other endeavors sooner, his influence on the sport is undeniable. His career has not only set new benchmarks for excellence, but has also challenged the conventional expectations placed on drivers. As the Formula One community speculates about what's next, one thing is certain: Max Verstappen's story will continue to inspire, both on and off the track.